Hello aviators! This is Sky, and today we will continue our journey into the world of not so famous but no less interesting airplanes. From Switzerland with their Pilatus PC-24 we will go to Sweden. What is in Sweden? IKEA, PewDiePie, Volvo, Ericsson, Electrolux, Scania, Saab and $500 billion gross economy. Not bad for a country with 10 million population. And yeah, in aviation industry the Viking did well too. Today we have a creation of the Saab concern. So, Saab JAS 39 Gripen, light multi-role fighter developed by Swedish Saab Corporation in the late 1980s. This jet came to replace its ancestors, fighter Saab 35 Draken and Saab 37 Viggen. The history of this plane began back in the 70s. At that time the world was actively changing old military toys to the new ones. The Americans made their F-15 and F-16 fly. The Russians began to fly their Su-27 and MiG-29. And the Swedes were still rolling with their Drakens and Viggens, which were good, but couldn't meet the requirements of the new time. They could just buy American F-16s, but the proud eyes of Björn Ironside wanted to have their own flying swords. The Swedish Air Force ordered the development of a new multi-role fighter that would compete with other fourth-generation fighters, but also inherit capabilities of previous Saab planes, for example the ability to work with short runways and conventional roles. Guys from Saab looked at the work of their colleagues from other countries and created their own design. In 1979 the project was officially launched. It received the name, which was eventually inherited by the jet itself, Jagged Attack Spanning, or JAS. The plane has been developed by Saab, Ericsson and Volvo, as well as many other serious local companies. Saab created a very curious delta-wing tailless airframe with canards. Ericsson made a modern flying control system for it, and Volvo charged it with RM12 turbofan engine, Swedish version of the General Electric F404. Those engines push F-18 Hornet, F-117 Nighthawk and French Rafale fighters. The first JAS 39 was released in 1978, right on the 50th anniversary of Saab Corporation. A year later the plane made its maiden flight. Then it got the name Gripen. The tests were intense and extreme. One jet had been crashed, also the pilot got off with a broken elbow. The problem was a new flying control software, it was full of bugs. The Swedish Air Force began to receive aircrafts just by the mid-1990s. Now the Swedes have nearly 100 Gripens. Gripen's international advancement was, let's say, not very smooth. The plane was good, and some British companies wanted to cooperate with Saab. The joint Gripen International venture was working for about 8 years, but in 2004 BAE Systems left, also leaving some scandals behind. Then Norwegians came. They offered to participate in the project. Saab was counting on this cooperation to sell fighters to Norway, but Americans came and drove up Gripen with their new F-35 Lightning II fighter. It's fair to say that companies from Norway participated in the American Joint Strike Fighter program from the beginning, and it would be strange to invest into one plane and then buy the other. In 2007 Saab started the modernization. They created a new Gripen NG. The plane got a new engine, added 2 tons of mass, began to fly to longer distances and carry more armament. To meet the trends of 4++ generation fighters, the aircraft received a supersonic cruise speed and active phased array radar. Among the perspective options of this improvement is the Sea Gripen. It was originally offered to India, but their aircraft carriers are occupied by Russian MiG-29K. But Brazilians were already interested to replace their old A4 Skyhawks boarded on São Paulo carrier. So let's take a look on this jet. JAS 39 Gripen has a tailless delta-wing airframe with canard control surfaces. Aircrafts of early series were equipped with Volvo RM12 engine, the Swedish version of the GE F404. The new planes are equipped with F414G engines, which have nearly 20% higher thrust and gave the fighter supersonic cruise speed, about Mach 1.1 with suspended arms. In the future, aircraft can get an even more powerful Eurojet EG-200 engines from Eurofighter Typhoon, and a bonus, thrust vector control system. The family feature of all Saabs is the ability to land and take off from short runways and civilian roads. This feature was very necessary during the Cold War, when it was clear that in the event of the attack, all airfields would be destroyed. So Sweden territory is full of woods and mountains, and it's not rich with large and smooth fields. Therefore, the aircraft needs just 800 meters of runway or some more or less decent road. Another interesting moment about Gripen is the feature which years after became a feature of Tesla electric cars. Most of the elements are being controlled by software, a single operation system. Therefore, most of the modernization changes are reduced to a level of downloading the new versions of software. This feature greatly reduces the upgrade costs and makes it easy to customize the aircraft for operators. The new Gripen NG is equipped with Raven ES active-phased array radar. Raven ES is a licensed version of the Italian Leonardo Selex ES radar. In addition to the radar, the aircraft has a large number of additional sensors to simplify operations with both air and ground targets. The fighter is equipped with 27mm Mauser Bk-27 aircraft cannon. In addition, Gripen can carry up to 7.5 tons of missiles and bombs, and not necessary of NATO standards. JAS-39 production was started in 1987. Totally, in 2017, more than 250 units have been produced, and about a third of them serve in Swedish Air Force. Fighters are also in service in Hungary, Czech Republic, South Africa and Thailand. One fighter is in the park of British Empire Test Pilot School. In the future, Saab plans to supply 200 planes. Half of them will fly to Brazil. So, the history of Gripens is not finished, unlike my today's story. Subscribe and write your comments below. Fast flights and soft landings to you.